Today we are going to explain a South Korean sci-fi action movie called Alienoid. The film opens in 1380 where a young woman is seen getting possessed by an entity from outer space. Her body begins levitating as she loses consciousness. Soon some archer shows up and begins shooting arrows at her, but she is shielded by a force that is beyond their knowledge. However, the alien entity escapes from the young woman's body and creates chaos among the archers. The alien doesn't have the ability to survive in the Earth's atmosphere for more than 5 minutes, as the chances of it dying becomes high. Not long after the alien's escape, another robot look-alike entity flashes from a portal in his jeep, revealing himself being the guard of those prisoners that have been banished on her planet. The intimidating figure goes by the name Guard, and he's from the future. Guard has come along with another device-like robot to monitor the alien, who goes back inside the levitating girl. The alien tries to pick a fight with Guard, but he manages to pull it out of the woman and captivate. The woman becomes weak and dies at the hands of Guard. As her last words, she asks the stranger man to protect her infant daughter from the cruel enemies. After her death, shortly after, Guard catches some archers aiming at the baby girl. He takes human form and immediately shields the daughter by catching the flying arrow that was headed in her direction. He throws back the arrow and kills the archer. Despite being a robot, Guard has the chameleon-like ability to take any human form. Without Guard knowing, his device-like robot partner sneaks into the baby girl in their jeep. The two opens the portal and enter their present time in 2012, while Guard puts the alien in a glass cage among 7 other prisoner aliens like him and monitors their activities. He hears a crying sound from outside. He goes outside to check his jeep and finds the little girl cry in the back seat. He becomes upset and doesn't settle on the idea of keeping the girl with them. However, his partner convinces Guard to keep the girl for research purposes, saying he wants to study the anatomy of a human and see what he can possibly find threatening about them. The little infant goes by the name Leon. The scene then shifted to the year 1391, where a magician is seen practicing his tricks with a pair of cats that come out of a folding hand fan. The cats also appear to have a touch of magic in them. After performing his tricks with the cats, the magician comes across a wall poster that reports a missing dagger that is made out of pure crystal. There is a hefty reward amount announced for the one who had retreated for its owner, thinking he has seen the dagger before. The magician gets a déjà vu. However, his mind becomes disturbed when he tries to remember the exact whereabouts of it. He visits an old fortune teller who's being held prisoner in jail. From him, he finds out that the dagger was first found by a fisherman on the riverbank. The dagger was forged with crystals. He tried getting the crystals out of the blacksmith's help, whose all attempts failed. In current times, the dagger is possessed by an officer who bought it off of auction. The magician traces the officer's location and shows up to take the crystal, but backs off when he sees an anonymous man sitting beside him asking for the same dagger. Soon an alien comes out of the anonymous figure and opens an attack on the officer. During the incident, the dagger is stabbed into the officer's heart and he is killed on the spot. The imprisoned fortune teller has somehow also sneaked into the same place to steal the dagger in his freaky robe. During the chaos, the dagger's unknowingly thrown right in front of him. He quickly picks it up and starts running, but the alien-hosted man sees him and runs after him. The magician runs behind them and uses some tricks to stop the alien figure, but ends up getting beaten up by the alien. Later at night, a magician and some local villagers spots a giant spacecraft crashing into their river, which is imitating red LED lights. As they appear completely clueless about the sighting, they catch a glimpse of a girl from behind who vanishes into thin air. The scene shifts to another timeline, where Guard is seen picking On from school in 2022. Growing up under Guard in his partner's shadow, On is an intelligent girl. As she's growing, she's becoming more and more curious about Guard, who she thinks of as her father, though she does know that he's a robot. That day, On hides her phone in the back seat and listens to Guard's conversation with his partner through the earpods. As Guard drops her off at his place, she overhears Guard talking about banishing the previously captivated alien back to Earth within another human. The partner further adds that the alien is way too stronger to be kept in one human and that they will be requiring 107 human bodies to hold it. Later that night, On sneaks out to get her phone back from the jeep, where she unintentionally opens the storage case which Guard was using as a prison for the alien. All On saw was a glowing blue light and becomes enchanted by it, not knowing the real deal. That's when Guard's partner Murek shows up. He takes human form, talks and spends time with On to end On's curiosity. He finally reveals that Guard and him are the keepers of the prisoners. of their planet. Their job is to banish the prisoners from their planet to other planets and other timelines. They have the absolute free will to choose timelines like past, present, or future and exile the prisoners by detaining them in human bodies, because humans tend to die earlier than most of the species soon. Guard shows up and talks about a certain hospital to breach and detain the alien they have captured in the beginning. On is a curious soul who arrives at the hospital to foreguard. She starts filming the surroundings. Soon a giant robotic spacecraft emerges from the sky and throws a stone that turns into a cocoon in front of a nurse who is too stunned to speak. Weird tentacles grows out of the cocoon and start connecting their pointy edges to the people around the hospital. Meanwhile, On witnesses everything and hides behind a desk. In fear, Guard shows up to collect the stone. Since his job of detaining the alien in 107 human bodies was done, he sees On during the crime scene, but pays less attention, only making her escape on her bike. Meanwhile, the people get back into their regular state, whose memory of the current event has been erased. Back in the past, the magician gets his hands on a map. It leads to a sacred temple where an assassin couple has already stepped in to sell some of their magical equipment to the owner. However, the owner isn't appealed by the magical treasuries and asks them to find the crystal dagger, which is being held by another man. The couple, who also has expertise in magic, finds out the man with a dagger and use hypnosis technique to get the dagger from the man. The girl that have previously vanished from the spacecraft sighting now shows up with a gun and fights the couple to steal the dagger. The owner of the temple shows up with his men and attacks the girl, only to get his hands on the dagger. Back in 2022, Honest seen sharing the recorded video of the alien detainment in human bodies. Guard in Europe take On back to their place and tell her about working against the evil alien association that believes in freeing the aliens from human bodies. Guard has recently found out that the evil corporation is sending its spacecraft to free the aliens that Guard has just exiled. All On is realized is that her father in Iraq are protecting humankind from the bad aliens. Subsequently, the evil spacecraft is seen heading toward Earth. Guard in Europe prepare to leave alone, but on On's insistence, they take her with them. Meanwhile, a giant red robot is seen attacking a police officer who happens to have a strong alien inside him. Unfortunately, a key is needed to awaken the alien inside a human host, which is the same crystal dagger that everyone is after in the current timeline. Guard possesses that dagger. Guard takes his robot form and attacks the alien who was in an elevator. The evil robot strangles Guard and takes away the dagger. With the police officer has escaped, the red robot goes back to his ship and follows the police officer. Guard also takes his ship to chase the evil one. Meanwhile, On is sitting at the back of the ship dreading every minute Guard attacks the evil ship's main engine, but the evil robot cleverly changes the engine's place to save his ship from Guard's attack. He fires back at Guard's ship, which takes the shot and crashes into the river. The evil robot shoots laser beams at the police officer's car, which induces the alien to come out of the officer's body. Guard shows up in his robot form and tries to tame the alien, but the evil robot attacks him and takes him down by surprise. By the end, he causes a massive explosion in which Guard loses his powers and faints. Murok finds Guard's body and transfers his energy to him to bring him back to consciousness. On the contrary, the newly freed alien invades the ship to free every other alien on the planet. There, he finds giant orange-colored particles. Each particle is associated with a specific alien which was keeping them alive in Earth's atmosphere. Guard shows up to fight the alien. Since he's newly charged urged to his partner's energy, he has an upper hand on the alien. He manages to throw out the alien from the ship. Somehow 2 of those giant particles float out of the ship along with the alien. As a few minutes pass, the alien starts growing weak. Since he isn't immune to the atmosphere, he looks upon On and tries to take a host of her body, but Murok shows up in his robot form and opens heavy attacks on the alien. Out of options, the alien goes back inside the police officer's body, and while he's at it, he expands one of his tentacles to grab the giant particle and pop it. Weird toxins seep out of it that causes any human coming in contact to choke to death. The toxins from a mystical cloud upon the city help awakens the exiled aliens. Muroi takes On with her. He tells her the importance of the crystal dagger and how it can help them control the prisoner aliens and allow them to travel back and forth in timelines. Once they get back, Murok reveals that he has foreseen the future through the crystal, which isn't good. Guard sends Buick away to keep On in a hideout so she stays out of danger, whereas he's growing weaker and could really use Murok's help. Garden On's father-daughter bond has become quite emotional with time when Guard looks at his picture with On and misses her. Murok tells On that Guard's life Window is on the verge of closing itself. The news appears to On as a great shock. She insists on going back to see Guard. Murok finalizes on going back only to find Guard in a vicious fight with the aliens. Garth throws the crystal outside for his partner to catch and attack the main nucleus of the ship so that he can put an end to everything. But the alien that attacked the magician in the past shows up in tops from Europe from destroying the ship. However, Guard, Murok and On manage to get back to their jeep along with a crystal and open a portal to escape the current chaos. The awakened alien and the police officer's body follows them through the portal and attacks them. Guard grows weak with each attack. On struggles to see Guard in such a state and shoots the police officer with Guard's gun. The alien isn't a pickle since he can't get out, nor he can stay since he'll die both ways. He uses his tentacles to trip the jeep, which was flying into the river. On drowns in the river and is bound to get the crystal back since they cannot go back to their respective timeline without it. Guard and Europe are stuck in their broken spacecraft, which was seen by the magician previously. On drowns and the dagger is gone, hinting that it was found by the fisherman and how it went from one hand to another till the day she finally found it in the temple. Currently the alien leaves to find another body to possess, and On is saved by a boy or age. He starts looking after her till a day she invades the temple to get the crystal back. As the owner hits on the assassin couple realizes that the owners of the temple are aliens. They fight the aliens and trap one inside a giant pot. Meanwhile, the other alien ties On's hands with his tentacles. The magician shows up with his magical fan that shoots out a sharp katana to cut the alien's tentacle and save On. This differs the alien's attention toward the magician. Meanwhile, On runs away and finds the alien's host body, which is being shielded and is hard to attack. There she sees the assassin's wife using a magical mirror to enlarge her hands to catch the third alien. On takes the magical mirror and shoots in front, causing the bullet to enlarge and break the shield with its force and kill the host body. By the end, the alien trapped in a pot frees itself and goes after On, who is swimming back to Guard ship with the dagger. The alien dies soon and his host body gets back to its normal state, whereas On is on her way to help the Stuttgart in Europe. Subscribe to see more videos like this, turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.